This video is about leading the horse, normal leading, not what I call side leading or the leading I do when I break or start a horse. The normal leading when you lead the horse with the rein of the bridle or with the rope before putting the bit or the bridle on his mouth or his head. Sometimes you lead the horse and he spooks from something to his right side. Usually you lead the horse on the left side, so the horse is between you and the spooky thing, regardless of when. It's a horse that you did not ride, he's still young, a foal, a filly, or a broken horse that you already rode, but right now you are leading him. So regardless of the timing of the leading that you're doing, you are leading him and he was afraid from something in the right side and you are leading him usually to the left side. So he's in the middle between you and the spooky thing. Most horses in normal leading, in this case, if they are trained in a bad way, will move forward and push you by moving left. So if I'm leading the horse and he feels a big sack in the right side, for example, and I'm to his left side, he will move forward, move the neck left and push me with the left shoulder or the left body, let's say, and try to bolt or move away. Then face it or move around me in a circle. If he's trained in a good way, he might stop and try to move back and look at it. Again, if he's trained in a bad way, this is you, the spooky thing is here, the horse is between you and the spooky thing. This is what will happen if he's trained in a bad way and if your reaction with him was also wrong. This is what he will do. Move forward, left, then move in a circle around you and look at it. Which means you totally, let's say, lost control over the speed and the direction at the same time. As I said before, speed and direction are, let's say, two faces in the same coin. And if you want to control the speed, you have to control the direction. So the direction is more important than the speed usually, because without the direction, without controlling the direction, it's impossible to control the speed. But the opposite could happen. You can actually control the speed without controlling the direction. Sorry, you can actually control the direction without controlling the speed. But the opposite is not the same. Any horse that you can totally control his direction, that means the speed is in your pocket. But if you control the speed without the direction, that means while you are bolting or cantering, he totally changes his direction while bolting or cantering from here to there. Which means while changing it, he will move faster or slower. So speed and direction are two faces in the same coin, and the direction is the main face, not the speed. Regardless of this point, I want to go back to the spooky situation. When you lead him and the spooky thing is to his right side, all he wants to do as a well-trained horse is the opposite of what I just explained. He knows that he cannot move forward or left, just like I explained. He will stop and try to move back a little bit to look at it, because he wants to be away from it and leave you between it and him. Again, he wants to be away from it and move away from it and leave you between the spooky thing and him. Instead of being in the middle, he wants you to be in the middle, which is a normal reaction for him as a horse. But while doing that, or while trying to do that, he will do it in two ways. The first way is what I explained, is the wrong way. He wants to move forward, then left, then stay behind you, or even bolt away. The right way is to move back a little bit and try to move to the side and leave you or let you stand between him and the spooky thing. Now, if he does it in the second way, second option, let's say, it's a good thing, but a good thing that needs to be fixed or needs to be dealt with, in my opinion. It's a good thing because he did not bolt or move forward, which means your hand reaction while it was happening, while his reaction was happening, your hand reaction was correct, or your body language reaction was correct, and he's a well-trained horse. If he was trained in a bad way, even if your hand reaction is correct, he will first try to move forward and lift, and when you are able to stop him and control him because of the good hand reaction, he will try to do the other option by moving back and to the side. But if he was already trained in a good way and your hand reaction is correct, in the first time of his reaction to the spooky thing, he immediately wants to stop and move back. Moving forward and to the left side is not an option in his mind, because he knows it's not going to work. He already tried that years before this, let's say, situation, and it did not work. He knows your reaction. So there's a big difference between just a good reaction with a horse who's standing in a bad way and a good reaction with a horse who's standing in a good way. If he's standing in a bad way and your reaction is correct, he will try to do the bad thing, he will fail to do it, then he will have to give you what you want. If he's standing in a bad way, a good way, he will not even try to do the bad thing or the wrong thing. He will immediately do the good thing or the best option available, or the best, let's say, way available. When he does that, normally some riders move forward and just ignore what happened. If you do that and ignore what happened, that means the outside neck that he made very heavy will stay heavy, and he will use that against you while you are riding him. When you do that, or when you lead the horse and there is something spooky to his right side and you are to his left side or the opposite, inside leading, which means the bridle or the rein is on his neck and you're leading the horse from both sides, and driving the horse, when you drive the horse from behind like the Spanish and so on, you're controlling the horse from both sides of the rein. The bridle is on the horse, the reins, the two sides, are on the horse's neck, let's say, and you are controlling him from both sides. Which means if he spooks from the right side and you are to his left side, you will stop the left side of the neck from moving to the right side with the left hand, your left hand. And you will control the horse from moving back away from you with the right side, so he will not be able to do what he will do in the normal leading. The same goes for riding. If he's a well-trained horse and this situation happens while you are riding him, you will actually make him move towards the spooky thing to the side. I can make him move forward or look at it or even move at it without looking at it. With both sides, I'm controlling him with the right side of the rein and the left side of the rein with two hands, and sometimes with the legs in some ways of riding. But when you are leading him with one side, just a rope or just a bridle, there is no two sides. You're controlling him with one side, and usually it's the left side. If you ignore what happened and allow him to just move back and away and look at it, and when you move past it, let's say, and leave it behind you, he will go back to your right side and move, let's say, to your side. If that happens again, especially when you leave the horse in an open place and he sees a lot of spooky things, spooky to him, because horses spook from different things. A horse could spook from a sack, another horse could spook from a car, another horse could spook from a cow or a camel, and so on. When that happens and you ignore it once and twice and 3 times and 4 times, the reaction he did will happen again in riding. Because when he looks at it and moves back, the inside neck, which is closer to you, becomes the outside neck. If you were riding the horse, this is the inside neck. He's afraid from the right side, he will look at it, that means the outside neck was the inside neck. Was the inside neck. You are cantering or trotting. Right now he's afraid of something in the right side. He looked at it. So that inside neck became an outside neck while riding him. But if you are leading him, this is the inside neck because he's closer to you. When he looks at it, it is the outside neck even though it is still closer to you. Why is it an outside neck? Because if he was ridden, there is a rider on his back, it's the outside neck, not the inside neck. So if he looks at it and moves back, this neck, this side of the shoulder and the body and the neck became very stiff and very hard. Now yes, you dealt with him in a correct hand reaction, but while it was happening, in a matter of seconds let's say, you already moved away from the scary or spooky thing. He will follow you and move to the side, to your right side. Which means while it was becoming stiff, you did not deal with it to make it smooth or soft. So he will do the same thing in riding. It's like you are ruining the outside neck in leading in this situation alone. Then you are trying to fix it when you ride him. What you should do, in my opinion, is these steps. Number 1, if he is turned in a bad way and he moves forward then left, the first option I talked about, that means your correct hand reaction should make him know that you can control him. So he will stop that option and try the other option, which is stopping and moving away, or moving back, sorry, and looking at it. When he does that, moves back and look at it, do not ignore it, do not move forward, move towards it and make him look at it and even smell it. So okay, you want to look at it? Let's go. Because in that case, you did not allow him to make the outside neck stiff and heavy. When you move him towards it, he will start to pull away from it. So instead of just making this side, the left side, heavy and making this side soft and loose, let's say, I'm pulling him forward towards it, which means both sides will be pulled back. And when he pulls back and knows that my correct hand reaction is not actually dealing with him the wrong way, I'm not pulling him back, the rein is sliding in the correct way, in the correct accuracy, let's say, he will stop and move towards me and towards the spooky thing and smell it, which means it's not a stiff side while the other side is smooth or soft. Both sides became stiff, then both sides became soft because of my correct hand reaction. That's the first step. Instead of just allowing him to look at it, move him towards it by moving to it. The second option, after he smells it and moves to it and smells it, don't move again and leave the spooky thing